Welcome to the You Need More Money podcast. I'm your host, Matt Manero, where I come to you every week from my studio in Dallas, Texas. Hang on to your lederhosen, man. That's what happens when you launch a book. This week is book launch week, and it has been out of control. Unbelievable last 3 weeks with this book, the You Need More Money book, which launched on Tuesday. And this episode's a recap of it because it has been crazy. Listen, I live a crazy life, a busy life. Busy by choice. I live a lifestyle by design. I do stuff that I want to do. I do stuff in my business that I want to do. I do stuff with friends that I want to do. I do stuff with my children that I want to do. I do things for myself that I want to do. That's a lifestyle by design. And the reason I say that, and I know that, is because for so many years, I did so much stuff I didn't want to do to climb the hill of success and try to make something of myself. And now I'm on the other side of it, and it is amazing. This book thing, this You Need More Money thing, has been really one of the highlights of my life. And I was saying to my wife, Rocky, the other night, man, we just need to ride this wave, honey. We got some money. We got success. We've got wonderful relationships at work with our friends. We've got great friends. We have our health. Our children are doing well. Come on, man. Let's just ride this wave. Man, it's been a crazy wave. This wave started in December of 2015. That's when I inked the deal with Penguin, the publisher, for You Need More Money. So you can do the math on that. It's December 15, December 16, December 17, and 3 months into that. So 2 years and 4 months after I inked the deal, the book finally came out. And it's so crazy when you put such a long window on the calendar, a 2-year date on the calendar of when the book's going to come out, or when anything's going to happen for that matter. And as we all know, time marches on. And that's exactly what happened. And eventually, March 20th, 2018 came. And it was Tuesday of this week, 2 days ago. And it's been insane. It started with writing the book, which was very, very difficult. Let me tell everybody how writing a book actually works. It's totally different than you think. You think you got to write a book. You don't have to write a book. Nobody wants you to write a book. They want you to write basically the following: a table of contents, which basically lists the themes, the chapter themes that represent the book, and basically one complete chapter of the book, kind of the best chapter of the book. And that, in essence, becomes your book proposal. And that's what gets shopped. That gets shopped to an agent who then, if they agree to take you on, there's a lot of agents out there. Mine happens to be Dupree Miller, if I do say so myself. I think they're the best in the business. There are some other wonderful agents as well, but I happen to think Dupree Miller. I don't know how you could get better than Dupree Miller, but whatever. That's open for debate, but not to me. And then they shop it to the publishers. And obviously the big four publishers like Penguin Random House or McGraw-Hill, that sort of stuff, will turn down 97% of the books that they look at from agents who have already vetted the book before they brought it to the publishers. So you can see it's just this layer of cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts. And sure as shit, they buy You Need More Money. And I write it. And it was rough, man. Writing You Need More Money was rough. It was hard. I went to freaking cooking school. I mean, I don't know anything about writing books or grammar for that matter. And I ended up writing 75,000 words because I just wrote. And I'd heard Jocko Willink when on his podcast, he said that when he wrote his book, he tried to write 1,000 words a day. And so that's really what I did. And then when I submitted it off to the publisher, they ended up editing out 24,000 words. The You Need More Money is 51,000 words. And that's 24 days of my life wasted because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. A lot of what they cut out was extensive amounts of data, much more detail on self-esteem. I wrote a lot about self-esteem because I really believe it's just a key component to health, to wellness, to money, to relationships. You just got to feel good about yourself. And it took me a long time to feel good about myself. And then the last piece was more on the storyline of my brother-in-law, John, which is really the primary genesis of the book, the common thread throughout the book. And they took a lot of that stuff out. They took 24,000 words out to leave us with 51,000 words. So that was a lot of extra work that wasn't necessary. But the publishers do know what they're doing. They know what works. They know what the people want, what book buyers want. And I think we created an incredible book. So that then goes through 3 rounds. First pass, second pass, third pass. Each pass is a serious round of editing. And then during that period of time, they're also working on the images, the cover images. You're working on getting referrals or references from people. And I was blessed to get Grant Cardone endorsed the book, Tim Story endorsed the book, Brad Lee endorsed the book, Ed Milet endorsed the book, my buddy Louis Schiff endorsed the book, Allison Levine, who wrote, she's the author of On the Edge, she endorsed the book too. And you got to get those going. You know, you got to get people to write that stuff for you. And you got to work on the copy and the coloring and the pictures and the images and all that sort of stuff. And meanwhile, I'm running a damn business, couple businesses, trying to be a good dad, trying to be a good husband, man. But You Need More Money worked for me. My son went up to play in this lacrosse camp in Providence, Rhode Island last summer. And he was up there for like 4 days. And my mom and my sister live in New Hampshire. And from Providence to New Hampshire, it's maybe an hour and a half drive. So I said, well, I'll go up with John. I'll drop him off at this camp. I'll go see my mother, my sister, and I'll hole up in a hotel room. And I'll just finish this third pass, this final editing stage. And that's really where the magic happens in a book. It's the tweaks, it's the nuances, it's the changing of one word here or there, or maybe even adding to the flow from one concept into the next chapter's concept and making sure that all works. And that's what I was able to do. I literally holed up in the hotel room and worked like 15 hours a day over and over and over to get the book the way I wanted it for third pass. And third pass was obviously accepted and good to go. The publisher's giving you feedback all along too. They're telling you, you know, we like this, we don't like this, we think you should do more here, we think you should take away there. And in the end, you will end up reading your book probably 400 times. I mean, you're editing and editing and editing. It's a lot of work. Look, maybe I'm making a bigger deal of it than it was, but for me, it was a shitload of work. Why? Because I didn't want to do something that somebody else had done. I wanted to do something that was unique, that had some unique concepts to it, and that was going to be meaningful for a long period of time. And I think we achieved that with the book. So the date keeps getting closer and closer and closer. Then you got to figure out what are you going to do to market it. And we put our entire marketing team on it. Hopefully you've seen some of the ads. Our Facebook ads alone have had over 1.2 million views on them just in the You Need More Money process. We started the marketing campaign in December. And pumping out the ads, did photo shoot, did studio shoot, all this sort of stuff to keep promoting it, man. I mean, I want to win. And throughout this whole thing, I kept saying to myself, there's no money in books, there's no money in books, there's no money in books. Until I came across a friend of mine who, when I said that to her, she's like, why do you say that? And I go, well, you know, I only make $2.50 a book. This was just only a couple of weeks ago, actually. And she's like, well, but that's dumb. She's like, if you sell 500,000 copies of your book, you make money in books. She's like, I don't even understand why you're thinking that there's no money in books. And I started to think about it. And I'm like, you know what? She's right. My mindset of not making money in books is incorrect. If I do sell 500,000 copies of the book, there is money in books. So why am I saying to myself there's no money in books? Why am I going into it somewhat not ambitious enough? So I threw it out the window a couple of weeks ago, and you won't hear me say there's no money in books unless we don't sell 500,000 copies. But why not play to win? Hell, with all this amount of effort, energy, teamwork, sacrifice, let's play the damn game to win. So let's get this book on the New York Times bestseller list, man. Let's sell a lot of copies of it. Let's win. at this game. And I think that's the way you should look at it if you're thinking about writing a book. Don't write a book just to write a book. Write a book that's meaningful, that can win. And yeah, maybe you can make more money writing a book. Congratulations. Got your little side hustle, your personal ATM working. I love it. And then the big night was the book launch party in Las Vegas. The Wednesday night before Grant Cardone's 10X, my buddy Coach Bert and I, Coach was kind enough to say, hey, let's do a combo event. I said, awesome. That was a huge success. It was killer. And then I started to jump on the speaking tour, man, just speaking everywhere I could get my hands on it. Doing tons of interview. I'm going to do 300 interviews. That's my goal for the book. I was on radio stations. I'm going to be on MSNBC next Thursday. I mean, just a lot of stuff popping. And then on Tuesday of this week, the book hit. And the first person who called me on Tuesday morning was my friend Ed Milet. And he said, man, I'm so proud of you. He said, I just did something for you that I never done for anybody else. I sent my recommendation of your book into my personal email list of everybody that's on my newsletter and stuff. He says it's 2 million people. And he said, I bet you sold 10,000 copies. Now, I don't have the numbers back yet. I don't have the numbers for like the last 10 days or so, but you know, if that's the case, then we're pushing somewhere around 15, 16, 17,000 copies of the book already. And that's amazing. I'll tell you one thing that I thought was incredible too was how well Amazon did in the delivery of these books. I mean, everybody who pre-ordered their book got their book on Tuesday. I mean, Amazon is just turning into this incredibly efficient machine. And then, of course, what's really exciting is that on Tuesday, the Audible version dropped. And so I think the Audible version is actually going to be bigger than the hard copy version. So it's available on Audible. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart. You all know this stuff, and you can get the book anywhere that good books are sold. And then the publisher called me and said, hey, congratulations, Barnes & Noble has agreed to pick this book up in 2/3 of their stores across the country. So that means you can go to the new releases section in 2/3, a couple hundred Barnes & Noble stores, and the book is actually sitting there ready for you. I'm doing a trade-off as well for someone who buys 30 books on Amazon and sends me the receipt. I'll do a 1-hour live Skype call with their team. I don't care how many people are on your end. You could have hundreds of people. It doesn't matter. And I'll walk everybody through the nuts and bolts of You Need More Money. And then if somebody buys 200 copies of the book, and I have already had one person buy 200 copies of the book, I will speak at their event. And I'll fly on my dime, and I'll speak to the group on why everyone there needs more money. A lot of amazing things happening because of it. I've gotten incredible messages from people so far. I've had one person tell me that they, after reading the book, went out and bought an $800,000 term life insurance policy to add protection to their family and get their finances secured. I had another guy tell me that he had this incredible conversation with his girlfriend who he had been lying to her about his money situation, and he came clean, and he said it was just the most amazing, freeing experience. And then just last night, I had Justin Myers buy 50 copies of the book to be given to soldiers, Navy soldiers, who are shipping out on Saturday. And so I just finished, just for the podcast, I finished signing 50 books. I signed every book individually to the soldiers, telling them thank you for their service and how much we care about them. And then we overnighted it. FedEx took the book. It'll go to Justin, and he will hand deliver those tomorrow to the soldiers as they ship out on Saturday. So really amazing things going on. Ask yourself, what can you do for yourself and what can you do for others? And Justin is an example, and Ed Milet's an example, and my friend Jenna Askew's an example, and my buddy Derek Godwin's an example, my buddy Coach Burr. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of people who have been so incredibly supportive in this journey. We're just getting started, y'all. We're just getting started. I'm grateful for everybody with the success of You Need More Money. We're going to continue the podcast. We're not stopping the podcast just because the book launched. We're not stopping the podcast. We're going to continue it. I love doing this podcast, and the feedback's been awesome. So the finisher is, this is book launch week, and what a week it's been. What a lead up it's been. And I look forward to seeing you down the road. I look forward to hearing from you. Do me a favor. If you like the book, leave me a review on Amazon. I think we got 10 reviews as of this afternoon. I need 100. Send me a picture of you in the book. Give me your favorite segment. Tell your friends about it. and order away. So listen, thanks everybody. I'll see y'all down the road.